Marvel's Blade movie is coming to theaters in 2022. An R-rated version of Justice League is on the way in March, and The Walking Dead is finally going to roll cameras on the Rick Grimes movie. What's up, Comic Book Nation? BD here with your second printing of the week's biggest issues at Comicbook.com. And after last week, this was always going to be a week that felt a little bit slower on the news front, but honestly, let's not act like we didn't need that. After Kevin Feige broke a 9-month silence for Marvel with 9 minutes of Marvel announcements, that almost burned our houses down. We won't have a show next week, but you can still hit me up on Instagram or Twitter, and we'll return with a massive, supersized, most gigantic second printing of 2020's biggest issues for New Year's. But with that, let's get to this week's news.
Lend me your ears. That's disgusting.
Zack Snyder's Justice League is not only going to head to theaters, but he also expects it's going to be rated R. Snyder promises Batman is going to drop at least one F-bomb, which is probably how it's going to be R-rated, but that's better than recreating that comic book panel. DC Comics fans know what I'm talking about. Everything has been downhill since then. DC Comics will also be debuting a Joker comic book series spinning out of the current Batman comic run from James Tynion IV. As the story goes, Joker has lost an eye, he's on the run, but it looks like he's going to be found by none other than Bane. So the villains are the villains in a villain comic. So by middle school math, that means 2 villains make a hero? I don't know if that's how it works. The series hits shelves in March of 2021. More people are apparently joining the cast of Spider-Man 3, and under normal circumstances, this would have been really exciting, but at this point, the rumors and reports and speculation have really dumbed down the buzz. The latest is that Willem Dafoe is reprising his role as Norman Osborn, and Thomas Hayden Church is coming back as Sandman. These are things we should be excited to hear. I'm not even going to waste either of our time rattling off the rest of the rumored cast because you already know all about that.
Why don't you tell me something I don't know?
Something you might not know is that Blade is looking like it's going to lay claim to that Marvel Studios untitled movie flag planted on the box office's October 7th, 2022 date, in what is essentially like a programming guide from the Investor Day event where Kevin Feige continued to barely say anything at all about Blade. The Marvel titles were listed in chronological order of release, and Blade was sandwiched between Black Panther 2 and Captain Marvel 2. Looks like the Daywalker could be brought back to live-action life sooner than we thought.
I love Blade's special blade weapons.
Andrew Lincoln might be all dressed up as Scrooge. You can practically hear these images yelling, "Coral!" But he is also about to suit up as Rick Grimes again, hopefully. In an interview with the Associated Press, Mr. Walking Dead himself said he is hoping to see cameras roll on his Rick Grimes movie in early 2021. Since I'll only believe this when I see it, we're moving on.
Enough. Enough now.
To wrap this week's show, I didn't want to conclude on the fact that Johnny Depp is definitely not returning for Pirates of the Caribbean after Disney reportedly balked at the idea of him ever playing Jack Sparrow again, but I did have to mention it.
I may have just said that.
So instead, here is Chris Pine answering a very, 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 very important question. If you were to chop down a pine tree, is that cannibalism?
Yeah, you better believe it.
I'm pleased to say I was told after I disconnected from that Zoom call with Chris. He laughed at that joke for about 5 to 6 minutes. Thank you, Maya. That's your second printing of the week's biggest issues at Comicbook.com. We won't have a show next week as we'll be taking a little holiday breather, and we hope you have a good one yourself. But when we come back, it'll be for our supersized 2020 second printing, which won't be as much of a kick in the nuts as you expect. If you want to talk more, hit me up on Instagram at BrandonDavisPD. And if you're watching us on YouTube, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. For more updates, head over to Comicbook.com. I'm BD. I'll see you there.